Yeah, I'm Colonel Johnny Casiano. I'm the commander of 4th SFAB. We're currently stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado. We have a multitude of personnel to include an entire force package forward permanently. And we do a lot of episodic advising missions in various countries across the European continent. Most people know that we have really 4 core tasks, right? Advisors. We assess, we support, we liaise, and we advise, right? And so this is a very sophisticated division. It's the 1st Estonian Division. They have very sophisticated leadership. They've got an incredible MTO. They've got a lot of capability that they bring to the alliance. And so we're not doing a whole lot of advising, right? We are keying in on assessments in support of what Major General VJatseslav has asked us to look at. But more precisely, we're doing the support and liaise function. So we've got LNOs that are spread across the battlefield, and we've got small pockets of advisors, packages that, and teams that are really plugged into all of the different command posts at echelon and across the operational framework of the battlefield, right? So we look deep with our JAGIC, our Joint Air-to-Ground Integration Center capability. We help facilitate the fight at close range, and we've got personnel in the rear CP, right? So again, the whole operational framework is covered, and that's exactly how we would align in combat, right? Because we are an absolute value to the United States Army in that we are part of the Army's conflict force. 6 or 7 months ago, we arrived at the fact that an SFAB brigade had the ability to bring about this unique U.S. division capability called a JAGIC. It's a Joint Air-to-Ground Integration Center where it's about 18 to 25 personnel from the Air Force and from various communities within the United States Army. And they basically sit around a seating chart bringing in systems where we have immediate access to the joint force, the U.S. joint force. And so that would immediately give lethal capability to any NATO partner force or ally that doesn't necessarily have that JAGIC capability, right? So I would offer to you, why ever put a U.S. division in a place on the battlefield where you can plug in an SFAB brigade headquarters with the JAGIC capability and increase lethality immediately against an enemy aggressor, right? And so that's what we're doing today. So over the course of the last 2 weeks, we've demonstrated the value proposition of the SFAB in conflict. We've demonstrated that we have the capability, personnel, software, systems, procedures of a JAGIC. It basically comes down to the low barriers of entry of software and training and having the right people capable of liaising at echelon to bring to bear joint direct and indirect fires in the deep fight.
JAGIC, the Joint Air-Ground Integration Center, is not the new capability for us. We've been practicing integrating JAGIC into Estonian division staff for about a year. But currently we still rely on assistance from our U.S. partners. I feel like at the beginning it was a bit rusty, but during the course of the exercise we definitely got better. We got more fluent. We got better understanding of how we should operate, how we should contribute from the Estonian part, and what procedures are expected to be done. And I feel like by the end of the exercise we were achieving a really considerable level of expertise of conducting JAGIC. But one of the biggest takeaways is the importance of communication. Some things may be obvious on your national level because we know how we conduct our procedures and techniques, but at the same time our allies see things a bit differently, so it's important for us to communicate the way we see the battlefield and to understand and embrace how our partner nations see it, and then find the middle ground so we will be the most efficient on the battlefield, delivering effects to the enemy.
All right, so my name is Major Zach Busenbark. I am the Alpha Battery Commander for 4th Battalion, 4th Security Force Assistance Brigade, here with the 1st Estonian Division, and I am working as the Assistant JAGIC Chief to the Estonian JAGIC Chief as part of Austere Challenge 24. So, 4th Battalion, 4th Security Force Assistance Brigade is the artillery battalion for the brigade, and resident in that headquarters are field artillery experts from the delivery and fire direction side. And so we took that capability with the battalion, and we have created this JAGIC TTP within 4th Brigade so that we can leverage the ability to advise as well as enable our partners with dynamic fires at their division headquarters. So for Austere Challenge 24, we were lucky enough to be joined by our British partners, which are partnered with the Estonian 1st Division within Tallinn. And so between ourselves as a U.S. team, the British folks, as well as our Estonian counterparts, 3 nations, 5 separate teams, both Estonian Army, Estonian Air Force, coming together to create this JAGIC for the 1st Estonian Division as part of the exercise. So the primary thing that I have learned is that it is a feasible concept to do this JAGIC TTP with advisors as well as our allied partners to be lethal and dynamic. And we can take that forward now with other partners now that we have validated the TTP, continue to refine the processes, continue to build our systems and our expertise so that we can be more lethal as we go forward.
Yep, so I'm Sergeant Jacob Turner, British Army from 3rd Regiment Royal Horse Artillery, out here on the Warfighter exercise, and I'm employed within the JAGIC as a targeteer.
Awesome. And how long have you been working with Estonians?
So I came out early January, predominantly brought out for the exercise phase, and I'll leave the end of March, so embedded purely just for the exercise. So I'm employed in a tri-country JAGIC with Estonians, British and Americans. My job is the targeting NCO, so in essence I'm pulling information out from the collection manager, weaponeering against targets, integrating with the chief JAGIC, who is American, getting them targets approved and then having the necessary effect on them targets. Yeah, so taking away obviously a lot of knowledge, a lot of lessons learned from this exercise. I've only worked with other nations a handful of times in my career, so seeing how other units operate and bringing that all together and working together as NATO allies has been a good lesson learned over here.
My name is Sergeant First Class Scully. I'm from Fort Carson, Colorado, and I'm with 4th SFAB here in Estonia. So here at Warfighter 24, I'm in the JAGIC and I am the airspace manager. I work on the TAIS, which is called the Tactical Airspace Integration System, and I work with a SOC soldier in the Air Force. His name is Mick. We work with the Estonians. The Estonians are part of the Air Force, and they deal with the airspace management in the JAGIC. And then we also work with some of the UK partners, and they deal with the fires in the JAGIC. Our day-to-day is usually we just wait for targets that come from 5th Corps. After the targets come in, it goes through the 8th ATAS, which there are US and UK counterparts working that section. And then it goes to the TAIS, which is myself and Mick, who's an Estonian, that deals with the airspace and conflict.
So 4th SFAB advisors are fully integrated into the 1st Estonian Division for this warfighter exercise. And really the 3 key locations that they're plugging in, for lack of better words, is the intelligence, fires, and the signal community. Now they have exponentially increased the capability of the 1st Estonian Division really in these domains. Now I made a statement earlier about the 1st Estonian Division, that they are highly sophisticated. They absolutely are. But this is really important for 4th SFAB. Why? Because it demonstrates to us how we're going to fight in conflict. So we've identified training objectives that we wanted to get out of this exercise so that when we go back and have an opportunity to reflect and do an AAR on all of the things that went well and all of the things that perhaps didn't go as well as we wanted them to, we understand where we need to dial it up, where we need to focus our training, and how we are going to fight in conflict.